If you didn't know already, after you listen to a song on Spotify, a new song will play automatically, and that song is recommended for you based on your listening history. But what happens if you don't have any listening history? What songs will be recommended? And where will Spotify's recommendations take you after 1,000 songs? Those are the questions I'm going to answer today, as I let Spotify take the wheel and autoplay 1,000 tracks to see where I end up. At the end of this video, I'll take a look at how many songs I listen to from different genres and by different artists, and see which track I played the most. But for now though, I do need to pick the first song, so Spotify can start autoplaying, and I figure it only makes sense to start with the most streamed track on the platform, Blinding Lights. Let's see what's recommended. Okay, next song is As It Was by Harry Styles. Sunflower, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That has already ticked off the soundtrack tune. You may be wondering what I meant by that. Well, like Ludwig did in his video that inspired this one, I've also made a bingo card to tick off as we go along. On that card is stuff like the carbon emissions department, because Taylor's new album will definitely be shoved down my throat at some point. Sounds for sleeping, so like whale noises, the sound of rain, any J. Cole song, and any song from a soundtrack, which I just ticked off. You might have noticed that there's one square missing on my bingo board, and you'd be right. I'm going to fill that square with whatever song plays when I shuffle my library. Oh, that's embarrassing. I guess I'll cut that out and shuffle again. That's weird. Let me try one more time. Oh wait, this isn't my library, this is a playlist of Astronaut in the Ocean 1,000 times. I guess we'll have to add it to the bingo card. Oh wait, I already did. So dumb. Right, Mine by Bazzi, I don't know who that is, so we can already tick off soundtrack tune. And we've had one of the 4 artists I've not heard before. Trevor Daniel I've never heard of, so that's another tick on the artist I've not heard before. I should have put on here Nostalgia Bait remixes because they would have been ticked off immediately with this, and I'm Blue as well, the David Guetta version. But I've not heard of Surf Messer, so again, another artist I've not heard. The Weeknd again, this one off The Idol, although this isn't the worst song of all time, it may come from the worst show of all time, but of course we can't tick that off the bingo card quite yet. Artemis. I don't know who this is. I don't know how many songs we've listened to so far, but it's got to be under 25, and we've already ticked off 4 artists I've not heard before. Yeah, so you know I'd said I'd heard under 25 tracks at this point. I was wrong. That was actually the 34th song that I had played, but I didn't know that. I had no way of tracking how much music I'd listened to. I was just counting in my head, and only 30 songs in, I'd already lost track and basically given up counting. I have to say, Spotify's recommendations have been pretty good. I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to do that. Ooh, problematic artist could be ticked off here with DaBaby. But I'm not going to count it quite yet because he is the feature artist on the song, it's not actually his song. Drake. I'm joking, of course, we're not taking that off. But we could well tick off problematic artists right now. I'm going to do one line because the allegations that are coming out right now from Kendrick Lamar's diss track, you know, they're only emerging right now, so I feel like he's not solidified himself as a problematic artist yet, but depending on evidence, he may well. Oh my god, we're here. That ticks off Astronaut in the Ocean. It also ticks off White Rapper. I think this may well be a one-hit wonder, you know. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do what I did before with Drake for the problematic artist. I'm gonna tick off half of One Hit Wonder for Masked Wolf. Oh god, worst song of all time. I mean, if Yummy didn't tick it off already, this would tick it off even more, so you know what, I'm gonna scratch out even more. I think if an artist has more than one song over 100 million plays on Spotify, I don't think we can categorise them as a one-hit wonder, so Portugal the Man gets away with it. Aaron Smith, I don't know you, let's see. Dancin' and Dancin' Remix, I'm counting that as one song, that is a one-hit wonder, I'm pretty sure. You know, I'm not going to tick the whole way, I'm going to go to there. Is this song completely in a foreign language? Right, I'm pretty sure this can be categorised as a foreign song. So we're going to tick it off. Our first Taylor Swift song. Now I'm not going to affect what is recommended next by listening to this song more than the rest to make sure that the carbon emissions department is played, But with that being said, I've been waffling on and it has been playing for at least 20 seconds now. So hopefully we'll get recommended more Taylor Swift. I think that might have been the first time I've ever said that, but we do need the carbon emissions department to be played so I can tick it off the bingo board. Let's skip, see what's next. Okay, another DaBaby song. I think we can tick off Problematic Artist now. He is actually the main artist on this song. There we go, Problematic Artist ticked off. Oh, there we go, worst song of all time. We've had 3 of them. Spotify definitely not recommending artists with under 1 million monthly listeners. It kind of makes sense because obviously I'm listening to a lot of pop songs and a new listener is more likely to know all of the most popular songs on Spotify. But I guess it's kind of a shame as well because in terms of music discoverability, I'm not getting recommended too many artists that I don't already know or artists that don't already have, you know, at least 5 million monthly listeners. Not a posthumous song, but a song about someone who's died, so...
Okay.
This is a great song, but I've never understood why Rihanna's doing the Chief Keef mugshot on the cover.
Yellow diamonds in the light.
Bang, bang.
This is 100%, I don't care how many streams his other songs have got. This is 100% a one-hit wonder. We're going to tick the rest of that bingo card off. Oh, I've literally just realised we've had a load of posthumous tracks already. We've had Juice WRLD on Legends Never Die. We've had like 4 songs from that album. Come and Go with Marshmello, again, not taking anything else off. Smile with The Weeknd, Juice WRLD. So we can tick off posthumous. Another posthumous track if we hadn't already ticked it off, although belatedly, we can do now. Arms Around You, XXXTentacion, Lil Pump, Sway Lee and Maluma. There we go, Pussycat ticked off. There we go, Carbon Emissions Department ticked off. Fun fact, this song is actually about that time that Post Malone tried to search 7 chests at Risky Reels. Have we gone in a circle? I didn't realise that Spotify recommendations did that. We've gone all the way back to the beginning. Right, seeing as Spotify got to the end of the recommendations, we're going to have to put another song in for it to recommend from, so we can restart the process. To be fair and not influence the Spotify recommendations, let's just go for the second most played song on the platform, which is Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. I've really made a mistake in not counting how many songs I've been listening to. I actually have no idea. I'm going to let this song play out by Eminem, despite it being off Revival, one of the worst albums of all time. First of all, the positioning of the parental advisory is just off-putting as hell, but also it's just a terrible album. But I'm going to let it play out regardless, because hopefully it will influence my recommendations, put it in a more hip-hop side of things. It might not do that, it might just start playing more Revival songs, which would be horrendous for this and make it even more unenjoyable.
Yeah, it's just stomach churning. It's sickening. I can't stand it.
Although I said this might influence which songs are next, I mean, listening to River feat Ed Sheeran is probably not going to mean that Spotify recommends me a Yeet song, but here's hoping, I guess. Thank God that's over. Clearly it did not influence my recommendations at all. I mean, I've just listened to one of the worst songs on one of the worst albums, at least in the last 10 years. For absolutely no reason at all. Great. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've just gone in another loop again. I don't know how often it does loop. Maybe it's like 250 songs, 500 songs, I don't know. So we're going to hopefully influence Spotify recommendations to tick off the rest of this bingo card by playing the most streamed rap song on the platform, which is Rockstar featuring 21 Savage by Post Malone. So hopefully this influences some of the songs that are played up next. Going into a rap pipeline, I don't know if that will really help me either, but I'm more likely to get a song that's by Yeats, probably. Maybe more likely to get a leak or an instrumental as well. The box. Yeah, now all it took was listening to Rockstar, now we're in the rap pipeline. Problem is though, although we're listening to rap songs now, we're not ticking anything off, and the artists we are listening to are really popular, so we're not going to get anywhere near 1 million monthly listeners, let alone 100k. I've definitely made a mistake not counting how many songs I've listened to, because I could have listened to 1,000 by now, I could have listened to 2,000 by now, I don't know. I might have even only listened to 500, I have no concept of how many songs I've listened to. And neither do you, because for the last minute or so, I replaced the track number with these question marks. So you're just as in the dark as I was. It turns out that I had actually surpassed the 1,000 song mark at this point, and Roses was the 1,154th track that I had played. But again, I had no way of knowing, and as I so eloquently said at the time, I just don't know when to stop listening. So I carried on. This song just pretty much summarises how I feel right now. I know I've got AI on here, and I don't think we're going to have an AI song unless it's the tailor-made freestyle, although I'm not sure if that's on Spotify or not. Oh my god, we've done it. We've finally got someone with under 1 million monthly listeners. I don't know how we've got to this song, honestly. I mean, it must have been... I mean, we listened to La 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 by Baby No Money and Y2K. This is a Y2K remix, so I'm guessing it's the same person. So I don't know, that must be how we got here, but finally we can tick something else off of the bingo card. I think we've gone back on a loop again. We've got Circles, Sleepy Hollow, Bad. Yeah, we're back on a loop. Okay, so I've just found out the second most streamed rap song of all time is Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD. So we're going to play that and see what was recommended from here. Lil Uzi Vert, Sped Up Nightcore. Finally, we've got a sped up song. Oh, a Yeet song. Brilliant. Practically falling asleep there listening to the same songs on repeat. I wasn't really expecting to hear Yeet in that run of recommended songs, to be honest. I mean, they're all very similar and none of them really pointed any signs towards Yeet, but there we go, another thing we can tick off. There we go, we can tick off Sounds for Sleeping. Perfect. I didn't think we'd get this, but this is a leaked song. Okay, so watching this back, I've realised that this isn't a leaked song. It's an official track released by Juice WRLD exclusively on SoundCloud. With that being said, this Spotify release is unofficial and not by Juice WRLD or his label. So, although it's not a leaked song, it has some of the qualities of one, being uploaded unofficially and illegally. I'll let you be the judge of whether I should have counted this, but at the time, I did. And with that, my listening experience drew to a close. In total, I heard 1,826 songs, nearly double what I needed to. The first auto-played song was by Harry Styles, and the last was by 6ix9ine. Kind of a stark contrast. As for the bingo card, I ticked off 16 out of the 20 items on it, and 11 of those were satisfied after the first 1,000 songs. Here's what I learned. Spotify pays a lot of attention to any song you play when recommending what's up next. The first song I chose was Blinding Lights, and the second, after the recommendations reset, was Shape of You. As a result, the first 1,000 songs that Spotify autoplayed were predominantly pop, making up 56% of the recommendations. The third and fourth songs I chose to play were hip-hop, and consequently, the remaining 826 recommendations were dominated by it. In fact, hip-hop ended up being the most recommended genre overall, and the four people I chose to play, The Weeknd, Ed Sheeran, Post Malone and Juice WRLD, were my most played artists. Discounting those four, XXXTentacion was my most recommended singer, followed by Maroon 5 and Imagine Dragons. Out of the 50 artists with the most monthly listeners on Spotify, 47 of them were recommended to me. Spotify really do prioritise their big artists when autoplaying, putting the less popular ones to the wayside. I had to listen to nearly 1,400 songs before being recommended an artist with under 1 million monthly listeners, and after 2 hours of music, I didn't hear anyone with less than 100,000. Just playing recommended songs is not a good way to discover small artists. For some reason, Spotify still show a lot of love to Old Town Road. Including remixes, it was my most played track, being spun a total of 8 times. Speaking of remixes, they made up 2% of the songs played, autoplaying 39 times in total. The Old Town Road remix alone was played 4 times, putting it just behind my second most listened to tracks, Sunflower and Girls Like You. But the biggest takeaway from all of this is if you create a new account and let Spotify take the wheel, the greatest song of all time, Astronaut in the Ocean, will be played after roughly 77 songs. That's 257 tracks before Rihanna, 345 before Kendrick, 388 before Beyonce, and 392 before Kanye. I know who my GOAT is.